What you're about to hear has been recorded in the diary of a saint, and it may be the most urgent message God has ever sent to your generation. Stay with me, because by the end of this video, everything you think you know about mercy, judgment, and the end of time is going to shift. There is a noise in our world right now that is impossible to ignore. Crises stack on top of crises. Headlines scream. Social media never sleeps. And yet, beneath all of that chaos, there is a silence, a spiritual silence, that is far more dangerous than any headline. It is the silence of souls who have drifted so far from God that they no longer feel the pull of eternity. Into that exact silence, the words of Saint Faustina Kowalska land with the force of a divine alarm clock. She was a simple Polish nun, a mystic, a woman who described herself as nothing more than God's secretary. But what she was asked to write down in her diary changed the theological conversation of the entire 20th century, and it speaks directly to what is happening right now, in the 21st. Jesus appeared to Sister Faustina beginning in the 1930s and gave her a message she never asked for and never sought. He called her the Apostle of Divine Mercy. And through her, he issued what many serious theologians have described as a final warning to humanity. Not a warning born from anger, but one born from a love so enormous it could not stay silent any longer. Christ told her that before the age of justice fully arrives, the doors of his mercy would be thrown wide open, not cracked, not partially open, wide open. And he made clear that this window, this extraordinary season of divine patience, would not last forever. The centerpiece of what Faustina recorded is something that has fascinated biblical scholars, mystics, and ordinary believers for decades. She wrote about a coming cosmic event, a sign of the cross appearing across the sky. According to her diary, before the day of final reckoning, all light will be extinguished. A darkness will fall over the entire earth, unlike anything human eyes have ever witnessed. And then, from the wounds of Christ, a light will break through. A light so penetrating, so personal, so complete, that every living human soul will see themselves exactly as God sees them. Not through the lens of their own excuses, not through the distortion of pride or regret, but through the clarity of eternal love itself. Every secret, every sin, every moment of grace accepted or rejected, all of it laid bare, not to destroy, not to humiliate, but to give every person one final, undeniable chance to choose. This is not the image of an angry God waiting to punish. This is the image of a father who loves his children so desperately that he is willing to do something extraordinary, something unprecedented in the history of salvation, before allowing justice to take its natural course. Think about that. God, in his sovereignty, could simply allow the scales to tip. He could let time run out without a warning shot, but he doesn't. He does the opposite. He reaches into the fabric of history and inserts a moment of breathtaking grace, a cosmic pause button, a last invitation written in light. What makes Faustina's message so persistently relevant is what it reveals about the season we are in right now. Jesus told her plainly, we are living in a time of extension, a period of divine patience. He is holding back the arm of justice, actively, deliberately, at great cost to his own holiness, so that as many souls as possible can still turn around. This is not weakness. This is love at its most staggering. Every single day that passes without judgment is not an accident of history. It is a mercy. It is God saying, one more day, one more chance, one more open door. And Faustina's warning about this final call functions like a spiritual defibrillator. It is designed to shock the spiritually unconscious back to life. So many people in our world today live as though eternity is just a concept, something that religious people talk about, but not something that will ever actually arrive at their front door. They go to work, scroll through their feeds, build their careers, plan their retirements, and quietly assume there is always more time. Faustina's message reaches into that assumption and pulls it apart at the seams. There is a deadline, not one set by human institutions or calendar systems, one set by God Himself. And that deadline is hidden from all of us, which means the only rational response is to act as though it is closer than we think, because it might be. Now, here is where this message takes a turn that many people miss entirely. If you are watching this hoping to find confirmation of fear, this is not that message. If someone told you that Catholic prophecy is all about doom and stockpiling resources and retreating from the world, they gave you an incomplete picture, and frankly, a distorted one. The heart of what Jesus communicated to Faustina is preparation through trust, not preparation through panic. When he spoke to her about the end of this age of mercy, he did not tell her to warn people to hoard food or build bunkers. He told her to warn people to accumulate grace, to practice mercy, to forgive the way they want to be forgiven, to love actively, not theoretically, to turn the chaplet of divine mercy into the rhythm of their daily lives the way others turn to their morning coffee. He said, "The soul that trusts in my mercy will not be afraid." That phrase deserves a moment. The soul that trusts in my mercy will not be afraid. Not the soul that has it all figured out. Not the soul that has lived a perfect life. Not the soul with the most theological knowledge. The soul that trusts. There is an enormous difference between knowing that mercy exists and actually trusting in it enough to let it change the way you live. Faustina was not an academic theologian. She was a woman who had surrendered her entire life to the reality of that mercy, and that surrender made her one of the most spiritually fearless human beings of her century. Here is the practical upshot for anyone watching this right now. The final warning is not only a future event, it is already underway. Every time someone encounters the message of divine mercy, in a homily, in a conversation, in a YouTube video like this one, the cross is already being traced in their heart. The light from the wounds of Christ is already reaching out. The question is whether we receive it now, while the receiving is still easy, or whether we wait for the moment when it becomes undeniable. And even then, some will turn away. The legacy of Saint Faustina Kowalska is this: God never gives up before you do. He is the father in the parable who sees the son returning from a long way off and runs toward him. He does not wait at the gate with crossed arms. He runs, and he has been running toward this generation for decades through the message he entrusted to a quiet nun in Poland nearly a century ago. That message has crossed borders and languages and centuries not because of marketing or strategy, but because it carries the unmistakable weight of truth. So wherever you are right now, whatever you have done, whatever you have left undone, whatever distance feels like it exists between you and God, the door is open. The mercy is active. The invitation is personal, not general, not for someone else, for you, specifically, right now, in this moment. If this message stirred something in you, if you felt that pull towards something bigger and more real than the noise of the everyday, do not let that feeling pass without acting on it. Share this video with someone who needs to hear it. Leave a comment below telling us what part hit you the hardest. And if you have not already subscribed to Living Hope, do it right now. Every week, this channel exists for one reason: to remind you that you are not forgotten, you are not too far gone, and the mercy of God is still, right now, available to you. Hit subscribe, turn on notifications, and come back. Because this conversation has only just begun, and what we cover next might be the piece of Faustina's diary that changes everything for you. The time of mercy is now, not tomorrow. Now.